I feel like some of us have been waiting literally years for a character like this to be competitively viable. Some of us. Point of this video and just entertainment, education, whatever, is to see truly can Tiki, with this Divine Mist refine, with everyone 2 buff, and this much investment truly live up to being a good hero in Fire Emblem Heroes. Let's find out.
Let the lesson begin.
What's up guys, Akariss here, bringing you another Fire Emblem Heroes video. Today's video is going to be another AR offense commentary, so I hope you guys do take something out of this or enjoy it, as when it comes to theory, it's important to put it into practice. A lot of my analytical videos should be combined with this type of video, or at least some sort of live experience like on Twitch or my VODs, so feel free to watch those and see exactly what I'm talking about. So the builds I recommended a couple days on Tiki, I try to put it into practice, gain my full perspective. I obviously also look into my community and see how they're doing with the refines and characters, builds, and their replays and videos as well. So I can really gain that perspective and give you guys the information you need to also succeed if you choose to do so. So here we are. Another ARO commentary. Now usually these are pretty fancy, some Gale Force, lots of awesome scribbles and whatnot and execute, but honestly this is saves, okay? Far save gameplay. And I really just wanted to show it because it feels really good to bring back, Tiki. As you can see here, this is my Tiki at full investment. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this content and you really want to see more of it, especially these different types of practical gameplay commentaries as opposed to just analytical in theory, the best thing you can do, the best F2P way to support it, is press the thumbs up, okay? That's all I ask. Love you guys. Back to the vid. And all the other characters, such as Ashnard, who I've also revived thanks to the Form of Soul and being able to invest into him heavily. So because of those and the combination of all these other characters, this is save ball gameplay. Or not ball because it's only far save and Ashnard acts as like the melee tank. But this is a very satisfying game because I can actually take these older investments, revitalize them, and share it with you guys and talk about it. Now, before I jump into the game, I'm going to talk about my heroes, their investments, and I'm also just going to give you perspective that I haven't used far save since it came out. I never had any far save at all up until I think Henriette's Hero Fest, where I got a far save fodder and gave it to winner Cecilia, which I put on my AR defense actually. So this is the first time I've actually been using far save on AR offense, and I like to overcomplicate my gameplay and analyze, calculate, make sure that I execute and win. That's why I'm able to consistently get results and consistently share those experiences with you guys here on YouTube. So first time far save kind of gameplay, kind of still learning the ropes and what exactly, is happening. For example, if we look at here, you'll see my mouse. In this particular game, I think it did take me about 40 minutes, but I've cut it down to make it very short. This particular spot here under the FEH statue or sand thing, I was like, oh no, Thrasir is gonna get Holy Knight Aura, and she's gonna be able to have 3 move, and then potentially snipe one of my mythics. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm running far save, it's protected, it's not a risk. So, that's like a small example of my inexperience with far save, but it is a very powerful strat, of course, that's why people use it. And it's satisfying just to bring back Tiki and Ashnard and be able to essentially execute such a cool strategy. So I'm going to talk about my builds just a little bit, and then we'll jump into the game, plus my commentary on how I approached it. First of all, if you've been following long enough, this Naga is kind of a result of getting Tiki. They shared a few times, I think. So that's why they're both at fairly equal merges. I believe Naga may have also shared with Fjorm, or Tiki shared with Fjorm. So I have a lot of blue presence on my account, and that's why they are merged as much as they are. Naga being my highest merged Astra Mythic. Ultina was a result of her debut banner with, I believe, Sothis and Legendary Marth, and then the freebie from Hero Rises in 2019. Regan is a result of the freebie, 1 spark on book 5, her banner shared with Legendary Lilina and Plumeria, which I didn't get, and the revote in where I got another spark, so +3 there. Honestly, I've been using Reganite like a base kit because she's just so good as a character on her base kit that I never felt obliged to like change anything on her kit. Although she definitely can be a lot better with like Gale Force or Fury or Push 4 Recoil, setting up a lot of cool Wings of Mercy stuff. Definitely possible. Ashnard. So I used him on his like when he first came out and with like Distant Counter and Obstruct, and that was pretty good. It was fine in that particular meta, but things have definitely evolved further and it's harder to use it. You kind of want stuff like no follow-up or just more bulk in general, or it's just some matchups are kind of annoying and you have to make sure you deal with them appropriately, such as Mirror Stance there can deal with Cyros on this team, and if he was running something like Distant Counter, it's much harder to win that particular matchup. So I've revived Ashnard to handle melee matchups, but the amazing synergy here that I want to show you guys between Ashnard and Tiki is that Ashnard acts as the front line while Tiki is behind, and Ashnard's Gurgurant has a -5 attack, -5 defense effect. The attack defense Rain has -4 attack, -4 defense, so he effectively debuffs foes that Tiki can far save into by 9 attack. Now, if you know Divine Mist Refine, with everyone, gives 12 to defense and res, 75% of that is also -9 attack debuff on foes. So these two combos together actually debuff enemies by -18 attack, and you'll see this through the replay that I'm showcasing here, which is really powerful for Tiki, considering her bulk and the way I've used her here with like the Ascended Acid and just hyper investing into attack and speed, but debuffing foes by -18 attack really helps her secure kills, even against something like Thrasier there, who is green, magic hitting, dragon effectiveness. So despite that, it is going to come down to a bit of a shock that someone like Tiki is going to be able to handle that. But a lot of that success rides on that combo, and that is the beauty of good team compositions and synergy. Finally, we have Flame here, who just acts as additional damage reduction, a little bit of like drive attack. I like ground orders so Tiki doesn't struggle to basically get into positions. It definitely helps a little bit in this, actually helps quite a bit in this match, as we'll see. So yeah, let's begin. This particular team comp is effectively a return trap. As you can see, Bernadetta there will recoil into Sigurd, and Sarah is return. Again, I don't really have the builds, but you can see it either through the VOD or throughout this game. You'll kind of see glimpses of it. But essentially, Sarah ground orders in front of Sigurd and returns him, and then he has like a really good coverage. However, these three buildings here at the front kind of limit and effectively create a choke point that I can take advantage of, and he's not threatening, let's say, my back line. Additionally, Sarah's Kia staff makes sure that Sigurd and Mira are both at the exact same health, so they cannot get isolated. They'll remove that. Also, Dual Peony there is at 67 HP, which is a pretty nice threshold to avoid Bridal Fjorms. My +1 Bridal Fjorm, not HP boon, is at 69 HP, nice. Doesn't hit that Dual Peony, for example. So this is a pretty solid team. I believe Winter Bernadetta here has Lancebreaker as well, so that anti-Vector technology. Thrasier is running Null Follow-Up, additional Vector, anti-Vector technology, and of course Holy Knight Aura doesn't need introduction. This is Quick Impulse. I believe drag back Sigurd, so he just like goes in and tries to create a mess, and the rest of the characters follow up with that. So let's go through it, and I'll explain my thought process here. So yeah, I saw the team, and I was like, okay, how am I going to go through this? You see some builds as we play through the video, but effectively it can be a pretty oppressive type of team. See some builds there at the top. With everyone is really awesome, like with the team and Tiki herself, because you don't have to like depend on like links or tactics or anything like that, and it's really satisfying to be able to just buff the whole team. Tiki loves it, Ashnard loves it, and their synergy is just so satisfying to use in this particular week. Now, mind you, that next week, I'm not really going to be able to do this because I think Sharena is a bonus, and because of that, I'm only going to be able to use either Tiki or Ashnard, so that's a bit unfortunate. But as you can see here, there's going to be some cuts and stuff where we just go a little bit in time because there's a lot of thinking going on, and like I said, I was like, oh no, Thrasier, is going to have 3 movement, and she's going to, hit this particular spot here where Altina is. And I'm like, oh wait, I'm just using far save. It doesn't matter. So as you guys see, the return trap doesn't happen because I baited out Sigurd. So if you run into these particular cases where there's a return trap or a sort of trap or anything like that, if you just bait out the unit, you'll see that it doesn't go off. And as you can see here, 39, because it's -5 attack on Thraster debuff, which is counterbalanced by the fact that she's running Swift Sparrow, I believe, and her finger effect and whatnot. But like, look at this. This is crazy because Tiki's getting like 24 attack, 21 speed, 14 defense, 14 res. She hits off with Soul, gets basically back to healthy status, and it's just really satisfying to be able to take on these really, like, you would think pretty hard teams to take on. And yeah, this is not like some crazy Gale Force play, but it's satisfying because I can use these older characters that I deem to be pretty ineffective and bring them back literally from the dead. So I was actually looking at this game, but like this particular turn, and I'm like, okay, so how do I deal with Syros? Because technically she's the only real threat. Tiki is gonna like just far safe protect the team from Sarah or Peony, and I'm like stuck on the idea of Asher taking on Syros, but I'm like, wait, I just have ground orders. Tiki has dragon effectiveness in her weapon. She'll just one-shot Syros, no problem, and continue to protect the whole team here. So I just make sure everyone is protected from far save. So mind you guys, this is like my second or maybe third game with far save, and yeah, I just go in like that and have a good time with this. So Syros obviously no match against Tiki. She doesn't have the res to get much value out of Dragon Wall. And it doesn't really matter how many times Sarah attacks. Even with Savage Blow, it just doesn't matter because Far Save protects the team, as the skill is intended to be. So at this point, it's pretty much making sure that Tiki is still continuing to Far Save stuff like Altina or Naga, who may potentially get sniped, but also setting up to get the 2 pots in the corner there, because optimal gameplay will require that you go get those pots. So I made sure that Sarah just dies and the rest of the team is protected by Far Save while I set up next turn with a couple of smites to go and get those 2 pots in the corner. So yeah, that's basically the whole game, guys. There's really not much more to it. If you have Tiki invested at this level, or you're thinking about it, I would actually recommend Ashnard as a partner. It seems like he's one of the better choices anyways, because he has a more melee type of scenario. But if you can't do that, then maybe a near safe combination with like a red or green armor could be pretty good. I could see someone like Arden being a pretty solid near safe partner with Tiki, or potentially Zelgius or Black Knight could seem like they could do pretty well as well. And yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, I am going to show you guys more Gale Force gameplay for sure. I have a couple of those lined up as well, but I wanted to just showcase to you guys how much I am actually enjoying this different type of play style, and being able to overcome these sort of teams that otherwise would just be much harder to deal with. And this game was like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, because I was overthinking a lot of the stuff that looks pretty easy to execute at the end of the day. With enough experience, like, this is how that is. This final turn here ends up with Flame just tanking Mira, so I can set up Ashnard so he can just go get the final pot. But yeah, that basically ends this particular game, and I just wanted to show how Tiki just tanks a green dragon effectiveness no problem. I believe that Thrasier had like 1 or 2 merges or something, and of course Bernadetta is no slouch either, but she was running Lancebreaker, so that was like the counterplay against Vector users, potentially. And yeah, that basically is this game, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to share with me who you use, as potentially, I don't mind, just share your far save or your comps, your tank comps that you use, or maybe something due to the refines that you've gotten some joy out of. Like, for example, are you using like Legendary Marth now, potentially with far save, potentially with Tiki, actually? Like, that seems like a decent combo as well. So yeah, that is all it is for me, guys. Thank you for watching. Smash the like button. It really does help. It shows me that you guys enjoy this content. You want to see more of my commentaries and my thoughts on these type of games. Sub if you haven't already. If you love me, this content, or you love Tiki, then consider the Patreon. That's the best way to support the channel. Love you all. See you in the next one.
It's over.